Hey guys, welcome to another Heavy House tutorial. Today we are going to be making something like this. Let's get started. First thing we're going to do is come up to X-Particles, add the XP system. Click on the XP system and we're going to disable the icon and viewport. Go to the XP emitter and we're going to change this from rectangle to circle. And we're going to do ring only and we're going to set the cone angle to 12 degrees or maybe 15 degrees. Under emission, we are going to set it to shot, and we can just do maybe 50 particles for now. Hit play, see what that's doing. Okay, cool. I know we're going to be using the xpTrail, so let's go ahead and set that up. xpTrail selected, grab XP emitter, drop it down here. Okay, looks like that's working. I kind of want this to shoot out and then rotate. So let's go to modifiers, motion modifier, the XP rotator. Let's see here. Okay, well, that looks cool, but it is kind of getting rid of that outward spread that we had. So let's grab linear fall off, set this to Z+, drag this forward, and let's see what this looks like. Okay, it's doing what we want, but I don't really like this angle that's happening here. It's a little too harsh. I believe that's because, yeah, well, one, I want to slow it down a little bit. Let's go to 90. I'm trying to change it, the type from velocity to force. Let's see what this is. Okay, that's doing it, but way too slowly. So let's knock that force up pretty high. Okay, that's kind of neat. Yeah, let's say that's what we want. Play on that again. Okay. I like what it's doing there, which is, you know, kind of coming back in. Extend the timeline. I kind of want it to stay in for longer. It looks like it's gonna kind of, yeah, spread back out. Yeah, I want to kind of make like a little bit thinner tube going through this area. So let's grab an XP attractor. Let's drag this around here. See what happens. Okay, well that's, you know, a bit much. So let's again give it a fall off. Make this a box fall off. Drag this over here. Sure, maybe the whole thing kind of comes out. But let's see what this looks like. Okay, that's what I was thinking. So let's go with that. I'm going to turn off the visibility on these. Okay, cool. Okay, I kind of want it to fold back in on itself, like be reflected, but not super hard. Let's do xpAvoid, and this is not really probably not the best way to do this. Adding a sphere in, bumping the segments up to 60. I'm going to put the sphere into my other objects, just keep things clean. Under xpAvoid on the object tab, drag the sphere into there. I'm going to scale this sphere up so it's kind of cutting through these trails for now. Okay. And let's see what this looks like. Okay, got something going here. I think maybe it's starting to avoid it too soon. So again, let's do another fall off and make this one a linear field. Again, set it to Z+. Make the sphere visible. I think we want this fall off like kind of like this, so it doesn't really want to avoid it until it's already inside of it. Let's see what that looks like. Turn the sphere off. Okay, so looks like we need to push this linear field back a little bit, but other than that, it looked like it was doing what I thought it should. Okay, that kind of works. How can we make that even more? There we go. That's nicer looking. Yeah, I like that shape. At this point, if you wanted to use this without having any animation, you could just come up to the xpTrail and hit C on your keyboard, or come over here and click Make Editable. So if we did that, then you could, add a sweep to it if you wanted to, or use the cyCurves tag, and then you could render that out directly. We are going to do some of that, but we want to keep the animation. So I don't want this to continue on forever, so under xpEmitter, object, let's go back to like 280, set the retiming to 100, go to 310, sure. Set the retiming to 0, play this forward. Okay, and it kind of eases in there, and then after this point we don't have any more motion. Okay, I think that works. So for now we're going to create a new plane. We're going to create a new emitter. This one is going to be set to object. We're going to drag the plane in there. We're going to set it to polygon area. The emission is going to be a shot. It's going to have 0 speed. Radius we're going to probably knock down farther, but we'll set it to 1 for now. And the shot count is going to be 50. Okay, so let's get Cycles4D going. We're going to, before we can view anything, we're going to put a CY environment in. I'll make it, just grab one of these, it's fine. And under object tab, let's turn off the camera visibility. Let's hit play. Okay, so we can't see anything, that's fine. On our xpTrail that we've made, we're going to grab a Cycles4D CY curve, and then also come down here and go to create a new Cycles4D object material, and you can drag and drop that onto the xpTrail. Now you immediately have this. So we want this to be instanced onto this plane. Probably not that size, definitely not that size, but let's grab under this, let's call this the instanced, and we'll call this one our trail particles. Under instanced, we are going on instance, we're going to grab a Cycles4D tag cyInstance, and you're going to drag the xpTrail into the objects. Go back to the beginning, hit play, and you can see here in the viewer, you've got a lot more than just our original trail happening there. Let's actually turn that visibility off. We don't need to see that right now. Hit play again. Okay, so this is obviously not the right direction. So under instanced, we want to go to our extended data, use rotation. Rotation mode is going to be set to tangential. And let's go ahead and set the up vector to y positive. Hit play. Totally forgot something. On instanced, we need to make sure we go to the modifiers and add in all of these so that it's excluding them, so we're not getting any motion on that. So let's try that again. Okay, that's really what we were looking for. We're gonna let this play out some till a little after 300. Okay, now that's our full thing. And you can see we've got this massive mound of stuff. So that's a lot larger than I want it. So we could either go into the instanced emission and decrease the radius, or we can just click on the cyInstance tag and just bring down the size multiplier. It's probably a little small. Let's do something like that and then add in some size variation. Yeah, cool. Okay, that'll work. These are getting a little thin on the ends, and I kind of want to have like little dots of light on the end of these. So on the CY curve, we're going to set that end to be like 0.3 or maybe 0.5, thicken them off a bit. We can hide our plane at this point. And now let's try and look at some ways to color these. Under our trail particles, we want to set that to be under display. Change this from single color to gradient random. And we're going to make this just a black and white. Okay. And then the same with our instanced. We're going to change that to gradient random. Black and white. And we're going to go ahead and push play on this again. You're not going to see any difference because we haven't done anything with the Cycles material yet. We're going to do that next. Let me pause the real-time preview and I'll hit play once it gets past animated. Okay, there we go. So in our object material, there's one really cool, not one really cool, but there's a cool feature that I was able to kind of figure it out in the last project that I built is you can add in a particle info and an attribute node. If you click the particle info color, this is showing all the information from instanced. So this is all of the instances are receiving their own random gradient color. So we could easily go in and remap this. Something like that. Put that in. Okay, so now they all have color, and they're broken up by their instance version. But also in this attribute node, it is also able to read the trail color. So you can see here you've got a black and white gradient. So now you can use a color ramp to really, just grab a couple of those strands per one, and you could use this to like mix two shaders together. So let's grab an emitter. And a mix shader. Let's put this here, there. I'll preview that. Okay, you can't really see it. Bump this up to white, and then bump up the strength. So now, well, it's a bit much, but you can see you've got these individual trails that you have color control over, as well as the instance objects. So you can do some cool stuff with that. We, on the other hand, are not going to. We're going to delete all of this. There we go. We're going to make this like a kind of dark and moody. Bump the roughness up a bit. Okay, so now let's get our particles on the tips of these. And this is something that took some experimenting with, and yeah, could not find any answers to, so I just had to play around until I got it right. So the way that I got it right was to, let's view our xpTrail, and let's view our trail particles they're on. Okay. Under generators, you're going to add in an xpSkinner. You're going to set the surface level to 0, polygon size to 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, and then we'll leave the scale for now. Okay, and under the xpSkinner, we're going to drag the trail particles to the objects. And you'll notice it immediately gets a lot slower, because on the end of each one of these is a particle that is being skinned. We don't need that much scale. We just want these to be pretty tiny. That'll also help speed things up because it's less geometry. Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna let this play out. Actually turn the skinner off while this plays out. Okay. Turn the skinner back on. And turn the skinner back on, and now we are going to try and view this inside of the rest of our project. So we're going to create a new object material. We're going to create a new surface emission. Call this lights. And we'll change this to like, I'll just use their blue. There we go. And we're going to apply that to the XP skinner. So you've got all these little dots over here that you can see. Those might need to be a little bit larger. Help us scale up some. Okay. So now the only way that I could find to get these to show up with these and still animated was to duplicate your instance. So this is going to be our instance. That is not how to spell. This is going to be our instance trails. Command drag, and then we're going to call this our instanced particles. And under the instance tag, you're going to now drag the XP skinner. And you can see here, we now got those added in to all of our instance versions over here. So again, maybe we want those to be a little bit bigger. Maybe we can up these sizes a bit. Scale, let's set it to 50. Okay. Yeah. So we'll try to make something from this. Maybe we add on the instance, we need to keep these the same, but shift select them both, and then you could have a rotation variation on those so that they're not all facing the same way. And I think we might want to make these a little bit thicker. So let's pause this. Under our trail particles, let's go to object, take it off ring only, and let's do 150. Turn off our XP scanner for a second. Okay, yeah, that's very thick. And yep, that'll work. Okay, now we can turn off that visibility, start back up our real-time preview, and let's just, I'm going to try to quickly set a camera, turn the XP scanner back on. Actually, for speed's sake for now, I'm going to turn the XP scanner back off. Let's grab, throw our camera in, let's go really wide. Let's get like a really low view on it. Sure. XP scanner back on. Set some depth of field. To your top view, you can grab the focal plane and kind of move that around until find where you want it. The depth of field is way too shallow. Okay, and we can kind of work with it from there. And like I said, it animates, and I think it's kind of cool. Hope you guys learned something. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys next time.